Hey folks, we are actually back. Had a bit of our hiatus in September, but I'm back here with Simon, who's somewhere, and Jason, who's somewhere. Yeah, we take September off because August is quite busy, and I was very tired and actually physically damaged at the end of it. We're trying something a little bit new. We're just going to have a chat about things. I think I originally called this show and tell, but we haven't actually got much to show. I think we just got stuff to chat about today. And I know for a fact that young Jason LaRosa dared to go to Bicester Heritage without me. I'm very disappointed. How was it, Jason?
It was free, so that's why I ended up going. Didn't have to pay for any petrol or drive and go for an hour. But
that's because of your work, right?
Yeah, it was for work. So every time I looked at a car and looked at the guy I was filming, Henry, I'd be thinking about David all the time. Yeah, it's like I wish it's me, it's not you, kind of thing. But,
yeah.
No, but it was good. The only main big difference, I think, obviously you get the variety of cars, which is always fun because there's obviously about a quarter of the things you actually know the name of or what they are. So it's always nice to see things that you just don't know, kind of thing. But before, I think when we probably last went, you had cars just inside the main section, the technical side. So you could basically, if you were pre-1990, I think it is, you could just park wherever and they just like delegate a spot. But now I think each of the companies, they're the only ones that are allowed to bring cars in. So therefore it's not as packed as it usually is, kind of thing. But so there's little pockets of cars in different areas and stuff. So that was still nice to walk around because at least you can kind of stroll around. And then obviously on the outside where the green is, where the track starts, that's where a lot of the cars were. But it was still good, and the variety is like very well. I guess it's like kind of loads of Porsches and stuff now. I don't know why that is. It just feels like there's loads of Porsches everywhere. But I don't know if it's because that's.
I think there's at least a company that become like the default car to take to classic events. Is every classic event you go to, there's at least 98 Porsches.
So you're going to be one of those lucky customers to attend these shows and all the Porsche events.
My car is too uninteresting and should go in the public car park.
But there's something you could do about it, isn't there, David?
Yeah, buy something else. because your Porsche is not an interesting car. Come at me, bro.
You've got plans for it.
Some Porsches are interesting.
Some Porsches are interesting, but
also,
my one is not.
I think you should not do anything to your Porsche, if I'm honest. We've had this discussion on the group, and you're like, "What about these wheels and these wheels?" Just leave it. Just like stock Porsches are worth more generally, and you've got other cars to spend money on. Leave the Porsche being all Porsche over there and enjoy it for what it is.
My only problem is it does sit a little high.
Well, lower it a bit, obviously. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
This is the problem with it, though. Once you get into it, I'll just lower it a bit. You're like, okay, what coilovers can I get for it? Oh, they're all like 1,500 quid. So everything for it is ridiculous.
Investment.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's one of those cars. I mean, you can do them cheaply, but you could definitely do a Boxster cheaply or something like that. But like the 996 is even that, which is like the bargain basement that no one likes. It's all the parts are still Porsche prices, so it's not quite as much fun to just go, I'll just throw on a 150, 200 pound set of coilovers and burn around in it, like with them all wound down to the floor until something breaks.
Just put golf coilers on it, like everything else. Just like they fit everything.
An AE86 strut tops. So and golf coilovers, and we're set. But other than the Porsche, anything that you actually enjoyed at the?
What did I? I saw Rob Richardson's KP30 again.
Yeah.
Every time I look at it, I'm just like, that is a beautiful build. And Also, they had the Singer. I think Singer have their own bit there now. So they've like, I don't know if they're renting it or if they've.
I get David's face. I don't think I've ever seen a Singer in the flesh, but I don't know. I don't know why you could be possibly going meh over something so special.
They're an incredible resto mod.
Yeah, well, that's what we're all about. Surely, like if retro rides people don't like incredible retro mods, then
no. You see, I actually weirdly have a problem with resto mods that are built to a pattern.
Oh, okay, but they're not. They've all got different colours.
Different interiors,
and they give them different names.
Like the RWBs.
RWBs. That's kind of my problem with them. It's like they're great. Like if there was one Singer, it would be the greatest car in the world. Well, greatest Porsche in the world at least. But like they're built to order, and that's fine. Like, but people want. But also, they really do feel to me like one of those cars that collectors buy. And that's it. Like that's what it's for. It's for collectors to buy. It is not necessarily. Whereas if you look at something like the stuff that I know, obviously we talk about them a lot, but like Retro Power do, but a lot of other companies do as well, like Icon and people like that in the States, and even like some of the other Porsche resto modi type people, the Le Manc people. I don't even know if that's how you say them in the States. That do the off-roader ones and all of those things. Like they look like they're built to be used, or they're built for a client's specific need or whatever. Whereas I feel even like the Alphaholics, which are built to like almost like a pattern, feel like they're built not to just go and sit in someone's collection, but they're built to go to track days and whatever. Whereas the Singers always feel, at least from the marketing and the presentation of them, feel like they're built to add to some Porsche collector's collection. Yeah. And gradually go up in price and whatever else. I'm sure some of them get used regularly and all that kind of stuff, but that's just how it feels to me. Like maybe I'm wrong, but there's no denying they're incredible bits of kit. They're great, but I make faces at them because I feel like the target market for them is not people.
No, it's not us, is it?
It's not even, but like not. It's collect. It feels like a collector's car, and yeah, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But it ain't my thing.
Yeah, if you're a Porsche collector, then having one of those in the collection is like having another special Porsche. It's it's almost as if it's another factory car, isn't it? And it's like it's a stock Singer, which is a modified Porsche. Yeah.
And that's the other thing with them is like, a Singer is acceptable, but like me going out and chopping springs on mine and doing it's not.
Yeah, you can't modify Porsches unless your name is Magnus or you name it after a city.
Yeah, I think also like if you think about Rough as well, like that's like Singer before Singer was Singer, and I know they're kind of in period, like they're like they take the latest car and they rough it. It's not like they went backwards, but they always felt like they were out there to get that record at Nürburgring and stuff like that. Like that's what they felt like the Yellow Bird and all that. So anyway, yeah, that's I actually, we spoke about this very briefly before, I think in either a podcast or something, and I should clarify my position on Singer. Singers are delightful. They're an amazing resto mod. I just feel they're marketed to be collected rather than something like it.
They're mainstream, aren't they? They're not like, oh, have you heard of Singer? Because everyone's going to go, yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to be more obscure than that.
They make for very, very nice photos, though.
Yeah.
If you look at Mark Scene Media on Instagram, he did a photo shoot with one a little while ago.
Lucky guy.
He keeps on putting up pictures of it because it's just so photogenic, and it really is. It's so pretty. One thing I will say about Singer, one thing you can do with them is when you're doing your own cars, you can go and steal their colours and interiors, because they match quite nicely. So I've been doing a little bit of that, a little bit of research into how they're doing their interiors and stuff.
Oh, let's have a look.
Amazing. Yeah. Although some of their interiors are quite disgusting.
Yeah,
they've obviously people took all the good combinations early.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we can't do that one. We've already done beige with orange trim. we're just going to have to do, I don't know, you're going to have a
orange
or
with,
something.
orange with beige trim.
I
Do you
wonder
think
if
it's
they
like
stop
that?
you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, could, like, if you went to Singer and said, I'd like this, and they go, oh, what colour would you like the seats into? I've got these fabrics. Oh, I've got this great idea, and you've like got this IKEA fabric, and you're like with stuff all over it. And it's like, and I'd like to have it in Kermit green, please, and like something that totally doesn't match, and just see if they go, really want this? Yeah. The Dartford Porsche is going to be IKEA and Kermit green.
That'd be amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I would just love to say like something that means that it's not photogenic.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I don't think they would, because it'd be brand damaging.
Yeah, well, I'd love to.
If you just pay them enough, isn't it? Like,
well, yeah, there is that.
everybody's got a price.
They'd take their name off it, though, just disown it.
Yeah.
But then it'd be extra collectible, because it'd be the singer they disowned.
Yeah,
Simon, you're onto something. Just make a disgusting singer.
Let's pool our money, buy a disgusting singer, wait for Singer to hate it, and then say this is the car they hate. We'll kill the Singer business and have the ultimate, the singer that killed Singer.
There we go. Perfect. Brilliant. Absolutely perfect. So have you got anything else you're heading? Because Jason, you do more events than us nowadays because you have to for work. So what else is coming up? Is there anything coming up for you?
Not in the retro sense. There's like a BMW M car meet that's going to be on in a couple of weeks, but that's mostly Beamers. Well, it's Beamers.
I would expect so.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be parked out there in my Japanese car, but I don't know much about the Beamers, so I'm starting to learn.
You're going to have to learn
more.
Could you take a Supra?
Sorry,
could you take a new Supra there?
Well, it is running a BMW. I wonder if that'd be funny, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I think essentially we could be the most hated people in all car community. We've built a terrible Singer just to upset everyone, and now we're thinking of get some M badges on it as well.
Yeah,
that'd be so.
It'd be brilliant. I think we are the Millwall of car.
Nobody likes us.
No one likes us, and we don't
care.
I did, however, go in the Boss's M3, which I've never been in a M3.
Which type of M3?
E30 M3.
Oh, nice.
So,
the
M3. Obviously I was sat under, as in our driver's side, so it's kind of weird, but it's a nice place to be, and the engine's it's pretty nice. I think because I'm used to like sub 2-liter cars, that anything above that's amazing. So it kind of makes you think I should be trying out different size engines, or at least getting in them somehow.
They're not that big, aren't they? They're only 2-liter anyway, aren't they?
It's
E30
like
M3 lumps or
2.8 or something, I think.
I think they're 2.5 and then 2.8 with a stroker.
Yeah, they're 4-cylinder, aren't they? They're 4-cylinder. Yeah.
So it's just there's a lot of I guess to me it feels like low down and mid grunt kind of thing, which is when you don't have to rev it so hard.
Like quite
kind of thing. So that was pretty nice. That was
waiting
fun.
for VTEC to kick in.
Yeah, that's it. And I think I remember about 15 years ago or something like that when I started looking at cars to buy.
When you were 5? Because he's older than he looks.
He's very much older than he looks.
But I was looking at BMWs, and it was always in like at the back pages of like Max Power and stuff, like cars to buy and stuff. And you'd probably see like one or like an M3 or something like that. But they'd be up for maybe like 10, I think between 10 and 15 grand.
Yeah, I think M3s got down to near 5 at one point. I seem to remember them being down there for a little while, and then they went crazy, and now they're really crazy, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's just that price hike is just nuts. And
hold up, everybody! Wait 1 second.
Okay.
And suddenly, in the middle of our conversation, like about Beamers, a Dan appears. Hello, Dan. How are you?
Hello.
It's good to see you.
I'm late to the party. Sorry.
It's a hell of a party.
It's all right. I haven't missed anything. Just quickly, could you spec a Singer for us? We want interior and exterior, and we want it to be awful.
I've only just cottoned on you're talking about these retro modern 911s. I thought you were talking about the Roots group.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah, see, I thought you were talking about sewing machines.
Someone should resto mod Singers.
Yeah. Someone should do a Singer Gazelle.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how does it? I can't remember how the Singer ties in with the whole Hillman and everything else. What were the Singer versions? Did you get like a Singer version of a?
Yeah, you got a Singer Imp. You got the Chamois. Then so Singer Gazelle, Singer Chamois, Singer Vogue.
Oh, the Vogue was the Hunter, wasn't it?
The Vogue, is a Hunter, is an arrow-shaped car. Yeah.
I'm now all in on resto modding the whole of the Singer range.
What drivetrain would you put in it? Because there isn't a modern Roots group vehicle, is there? I mean, because resto modding is, well, I suppose you haven't got to keep with the mark, because people rest their cars and put LS3s in them. But
you'd resto mod it with one of those. Is it Miltech Diamond, whatever they are?
Yeah, I think you'd go because they ended up going Talbot and then Peugeot, didn't they? So I think you'd have to put a Peugeot engine in it.
Yeah. If you were keeping the lineage.
That's it. There's got to be some obscure link because they did
horrible dirty diesel in it.
I didn't know that Talbot actually is a UK mark, not French.
Coming in with the facts.
Right. It certainly was for a little while. Yeah.
Pre-war cars are Talbots, aren't they? Yeah. There you go.
Perfect.
We are the perfect resto modded Singers.
And then we can just advertise it for sale, Singer for sale. Think of a city.
Singer Bracknell.
Singer, I was going to say Guildford, so I wasn't far away.
Oh, yeah.
Singer Bracknell.
Singer Burton upon Trent.
Perfect.
Brilliant. On that note, I'm going to come to Simon for his particular subject, seeing as I think we fair rinsed Bicester Heritage. Anyway, next Bicester Heritage meeting, the Sunday Scramble, I'm going to go to. I missed every single one this year because
I've never
I moved
been
house
to one
and life was hard.
So another person Jason hasn't invited,
Right,
but loads. In fact, David hasn't invited me either. In fact, no one has ever invited me to the Sunday Scramble.
Well, let's go to Sunday Scramble. We'll go to a Sunday Scramble next year because hopefully you'll have a car cool enough. But we're not talking about that just yet.
No, I was sort of going to talk about it because it's only really, it was because I've been looking for a car recently with a strange set of criteria, none of which were met in the end.
But at some point, we'll come back to your car in another future video.
So
there's a little bit of a trail.
But you know what I do have, because I wrote down this list when we had our chat, when I called upon you lovely chaps to help me decide what to buy. Worked well, guys, well done. I wrote a list of all the cars I was going to buy, potentially that fitted my criteria or didn't. And the car I did buy is on the list. Would you like to hear the list?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's hear the list.
The list was a Herald estate, a Hillman Minx estate, a Skoda F110L, but that went a long time ago, a Nissan Prairie, a Hi-Ace or Homey, which you chaps nearly imported one for me. That got a bit weird. A Citroen GS estate, a 2CV or Citroen Diane van, a Renault 4 van, a Toyota Space Cruiser, an A60 estate, a Bluebird estate, any Countryman of any sort, except obviously a modern Mini, or a Renault 6, which had appeared, if you remember that lovely red one. So out of all those cars, I did purchase one.
But we're not saying just yet. There'll be a reveal.
YouTube thing and go like, pause the video now and comment below as to which of
those.
Yeah,
comment below and then like and subscribe and sign up to my Patreon.
Yeah.
Actually, tell you what you can do. Actually, whilst we're here, we don't have a Patreon, but we do have Club Retro Rides. If you join Club Retro Rides, it's basically the same thing as us having a Patreon. So it pays for stuff because there are subscriptions and things behind the scenes to make all this work. So join Club Retro Rides, you get a sticker and we have exclusive meetings.
How much is it to join the club?
It's a whole £20 for the year.
Oh well, I'll join. I'm going to join.
Yeah, like some Patreons are that per month. If you go to store.retro-rides.org, there's a join thing. I do need to update the store because it says apparently it still says we're at Weekender. We're not still at Weekender. It's been a few months since we were at Goodwood. We don't live there now. I need to do it.
Hey, we were talking about prices. That's what you wanted to
Yes.
talk about, wasn't it? And it's just how much loads of things have become recently. That's about it. It's I suppose it's lockdown. I suppose everyone's sort of gone, I'm going to buy my dream car now. I'm sat at home doing nothing, but I'm getting paid for it. And I'm going to live for the moment.
It's not how it works, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you normal working people, what it is that you do. Yeah. But so many things are so expensive. If you wanted to just like buy £1,000 classic, then you ain't buying anything unless it's utterly rotten.
Yeah.
Even regardless of whether it's got like tax exempt status or anything like that, there's no real driver. The other thing I found is I genuinely think that the like 60s classics, apart from the normal higher end, either the Morris Minors and stuff like that, but they all got to be in good condition, or your E-types and stuff like that. I think the market's just going to drop on them. I don't think they'll last because I don't think anyone really wants them anymore.
Well, there's a thing. So that's it's an interesting observation because Ian Kelly, who we interviewed a while ago on the podcast, guy called Marv,
the Australian guy.
Yeah, Australian guy. He put up a post a while ago because there are loads of people in Australia obviously complaining about the price of Skyline GTRs and all that kind of thing, and all the sort of late 80s, mid to mid 90s Japanese cars are now crazy expensive out there. And they were blaming the American market and all this kind of stuff. And he put up a thing saying it's the demand. Like they're the cars that they're the halo cars for people now. And those cars from the 60s, like the Australian cars that he was talking about, but it's true for America as well, is they've gone up in price. But the generation that dream of having them are now that little bit older and they're dying off, or they're stopping driving, or, like they've already bought the car they want and then they're getting sold. And their kids, some of them are definitely keeping them on, but others are selling them and they're just selling them for whatever price, and the demand is going down. And I found this because I've been looking for pre-war cars, as you guys well know, and I'm genuinely surprised at what you can get for your money. Yeah, it's not cheap, but like you can get like really good condition cars for like 10-12 grand. Yeah. They're nearly 100 years old, but like they're really well looked after and they got like limited mileages on them. And I'm like, that's insane to me. And you definitely can pick up bargains. There's like, 3 or 4 grand pre-war cars. And I can see the same thing happening with some 60s stuff, like unless it's that halo, as you say, Ferrari, or like that bread and butter, like classic. The prices are what they are. It's like 60s Beetles. Like if it's pre-59, it's crazy money. But now getting like into the sort of the 66 like sloper models, they've not gone mad. They're like 4, 5, 6 grand. You know what? Because the Beetles, they're kind of still up. Yeah. People want them, but cars like Scimitars seem to be exempt. MGBs, Spitfires, Heralds are kind of still hanging around. There's not much difference between Heralds and Vitesses at the moment. It's on condition, I think. If you sort of look at the prices, if you're going to spend 10 grand on a Herald or Vitesse, you might get sort of a similar thing. That's another thing. If you look at Morris Minors, there's like 4 grand on the road, slightly tatty Morris Minors or Morris Travellers. I was looking at actually, and then there's like 25 grand cars, and there's good cars at 12. And I'd love to know what the difference between a 12 grand Morris Minor Traveller and a 25 grand Morris Minor Traveller is. I think sometimes it's how recent the restoration was and who did it. I think that can make a difference.
Nobody's made by Singer.
Morris Minor, aren't
they? Yeah.
Somebody is.
Or have you seen Range Rovers?
Oh my God! Well, see, the Range Rover is an incredible thing. Like the Series 1 Range Rovers, and insane money. And Charlie likes them, so that's disappointing.
It's doing as they do, as it's 911's done, and Campers did years before, and all that sort of stuff. It slips to the next generation, and they're getting quite late now. We're into the 90s now. If you go on eBay and look at classic car Range Rovers, you can spend 100 grand on like a P38. Not that I know my model codes very well, but you can, not just that Series 1 2-door that were way up in value for a little while, like a slightly modernized Vogue or something like that. Worth a load of money. crazy money on Range Rovers. 35 grand for something that was probably 2 grand not that long ago. The same with the Jeep Cherokees as well.
Yeah,
even like the small Cherokee rather than the big.
You can do the same with the Toyota Land Cruiser as well.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if 4x4s are the way to go. If what drives people to buy the cars is cars their dads had, or cars they coveted as they were younger, or the best version, or the car they did have when they were younger, or the best version of the car they had when they were younger. If that all makes sense, doesn't it? What I've said there. So, do you think if you wished your dad had bought a Land Cruiser or a Range Rover, that's what you're going to have, or you're going to drive the car you like? Maybe 4x4s. I reckon those cheap Porsche Cayennes and stuff that are out at the moment, your 5 grand early Cayenne might be where the investment money should go.
Oh, well, there's this whole thing around being the older version of what's currently popular. And you look out, we're looking around for cars at the moment with like 10-year-old cars, and we're looking at kind of SUV-looking things. And then the earlier versions of those, because the person, we always use the school argument, but you've got a row of them at the school. The person is coolest that turns up with the oldest classic-looking one, right?
Yeah.
So
the newest one.
Or the newest one. So I'm guessing that's kind of like where the thought process, but also become iconic. I think people start to appreciate the shapes and things after a while. So I think that's what happened with the Range Rover. I mean, if you look at the Series 1, Series 2 Range Rovers and the Defender as well, actually, they're iconic shapes now. And they started to get used in photo shoots and fashion magazines because they're pretty cool looking. Same with with BMWs and things. They're so archetypically 80s, like an E30 BMW. So that 80s, 90s kind of thing, you can just immediately represent that era by dropping one of them in. And I think that's part of the reason that they got kind of pushed up in value as well, because they become iconic for the age.
You think we should be buying like a first year Volvo XC90?
Yes. Genuinely, yes.
Yeah. Are these already happened? Am I too late?
No, but I have a little kind of touchdown, which is whatever my wife goes, oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's going to go up in price. And whatever I go, oh, that's really nice, it's never going to change value. And she was...
I could do that.
Yeah. She was looking at a Series 1 XC90s, and she's... Yeah.
Well, that's it. You've got to buy one now.
What about Gen 1 Boxsters? You think they're going to go up?
They're an interesting one. I don't know if they're going to 914 it, because they're starting to.
Then, yeah.
But for only because people can't afford early 911s now. I think the Boxster is weird. I think though it is a little bit iconic, and it is quite representative of an era. So I think it could go either way. It's either that or it's the Porsche that people that couldn't afford a 911 bought, which is what the 914 was really. But I think the 914 is a cooler car.
Yeah, or as Dan said, I think the 924, which is still hanging about a bit. I think if you found a good, like one owner 924, there's value in it, but there's still tatty 914s out there.
924 turbo or something like that.
Yeah, turbo. Well, they're starting to fetch like 10 now. They're fetching, and a bit more actually, probably. The 944 S2s have gone. Like they're like 25 odd grand now, and they used to be buttons. So it happens because, again, as you pointed out, it comes down through the ranks. Like, I can't get a 911. What can I get? I can get a 928. So they went, and I can't get a 928 now. What can I get? I can get a 944 Series 2 because that's the best one. Okay, or S2, sorry. So 924, I guess, is next on the hit list, particularly the turbos, though. I think you're right on that. But the Japanese cars have all gone. People like Jason want them.
We found some. We found that the only Nissan Prairie that seemed to be early Nissan Prairie for sale on the Japanese auction sites was 12 grand.
Yeah.
And we found B310 coupes for similar money.
Yeah.
Just got to export your one, haven't you?
That's what I said. That was 17,000, I think, for that coupe, and it was completely stock as well.
Yeah.
I still think I'd be losing money. Let's not talk about that.
That's it. Do you remember when the Japanese were buying mini-based things for a little
Yeah.
while, and like Austin 1300s and Van der Plough 1300s?
If you want to see the best minis in the world, you go to Japan.
Yeah,
sorry, except for maybe Nick Swift. But
you know where you shouldn't go to see the best minis in the world, and I'm sorry if you're one of these people here, you shouldn't go to the Oso Retro Show. Because crikey, people just don't leave those minis alone. They are all doing as much as they can to minis. Like, it's all that London to Brighton thing, isn't it? Is they've all got to have like fluffy toys on them, and
you have to be different.
Have they PT Cruised the minis?
Yeah, slightly. But it's
so they haven't got Confederate flags on the roof. You're right.
Yeah, you can you can get so much for minis. I think when you're looking at the catalogue, those clear rear lights look good. I'll get those, and look at these spats. This is good.
That's true. A lot, I think, is like when you've got a car where you can get a lot of stuff for it, it's very easy to get carried away, and remaining restrained is the art of it, which is what someone like Rob Richardson does so well. Like
he's talking about building another mini.
Yeah, he's talking about building another mini.
So that will be my favourite mini.
So my topic of conversation was actually related to Simon's, I guess. In that my thought is there's no more bargains in cars because of the way prices have gone. But then when I thought about it, I was like, well, there's no more bargains to a certain degree. So my thought was, we thought about doing like a $2,000 car challenge, like build a car for $2,000. Now Dan has accidentally done this numerous times, but like it kind of inspired us to think, oh, perhaps we could do like not quite a retro build off, but like do a little $2,000 car challenge, and we'll split into teams and find other people that want to do it and all that stuff. And then when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, you'd want like $1,000 or so to modify your car. And if you said to the rules were it has to be pre-98, the volume of cars you could actually use is vanishingly small. Like what you can get for $1,000 that's kind of on the road and MOTable, and you'd probably be all right to start modding, is actually quite small. Whereas when we started doing this stuff, cars that were 20 years old could be got for 1,200 quid in reasonable condition. I mean, I bought a 33,000 mile Datsun Sunny for £1,200.
But don't forget, 20-year-old cars are actually 2001.
Yeah,
that's one thing. That's one thing that changes, I think, and I don't know whether it's our perception as we get older or whether it's the actual facts. Is what's considered classic now has sort of changed. My latest purchase, which I don't know, maybe it's a bargain, would have been a lot less a little while ago, is probably about the same age as my Cressida was when I bought it.
Yeah.
And yet I can't really get classic insurance on it.
That's funny, because I was thinking this when we started Retro Rides in 2004. I didn't have a retro car at the time. I had a Mark III Golf, although that would be considered retro now.
Yeah.
But I did, previous to my Golf, have an Alpha 33, a 1989 Alpha 33, and that would have been considered retro, and that was 15 years old.
Yeah, my first classic car was a 20-year-old Triumph Herald.
Yeah, so my next year my 996 is 20 years old, but I think of it as a modern car still.
Yeah.
It's got sat nav. It's rubbish, but it's got it. But it's a weird thing. It's got a tape deck and a CD changer and a sat nav and a head up and like a screen. It's like this weird transition period. Someone actually said to me the other day, "Oh, it's great to see," because it's part of my drive at the moment. And someone said, "Oh, it's great to see people liking older Porsches." A modern car, but it is. It's an older Porsche, I guess. So. So I think if we were to do that, I think we could definitely like ring fence that, because that's where the bargains are at the moment. That kind of 2004 back. You can import stuff from, Dan knows, you can import stuff from Japan, like little K cars and stuff that are, 1,500 quid. Well, not quite 1,500 quid, like $2,000 landed. You could have an almost unique car in the UK, and as well as all of the numerous bits and pieces that are just floating around out there currently unloved, which I guess was sort of a little bit of a sweet spot for Retro Rides at one point, was digging up those unloved cars and then modifying them to the point where they're really cool. So
yeah, you could get rare cars cheaply, or you could get a rare car expensively. Apparently, that's the trouble. When a car's so rare that you can't tell the person when the person is selling the car has massively overpriced it, but you have no comparison.
Yeah,
I had that trouble with my new car. This just seems silly that I'm not saying what it is, but I'm not going to. Is probably one sells every year, and the price. So you can't really say to the owner, look, it's not worth what you've got it up for. It's worth this much, and they'll say, well, buy the other one then, and it's like, I can't buy another one. So if you wanted, for instance, a Toyota Tercel at the moment, your choices are that one that's £6,250, or don't buy one.
Or import one from the States.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's an interesting conundrum as well, because a car is rare doesn't mean it's expensive. But as you say, it's difficult to tell people that sometimes.
Yeah.
Case in point, and I've brought this example up before, I own 1.5 of the remaining 2 Yugo 45s in existence.
One of those is a barbecue.
One of those is now a barbecue. And the one that I do have, if it was still in one piece and on the road, wouldn't be worth an amazing amount of money, even though it's the last remaining road going example. It'd be about 1,200 quid.
I think how many left has a lot to answer for, because sometimes it also gives a very inaccurate impression, because people act like it's actually fact, but it's got the wrong number of Datsun Sunny coupes on there, because they're not all in there as Datsun Sunny coupes. They're in there as Datsun Sunny, Datsun 140Y, B310, because it's just been inputted by hand over years and years and years. Like it wasn't like they had a drop down list and went, oh, it's that thing.
My Toyota Crown is just Toyota Other on the logbook.
Yeah.
So how do you even begin to fathom how many other cars are there if the full correct description isn't there to compare with other models?
Yeah, that's the problem. So I think something like how many left definitely has a lot to ask for. My favorite thing is when you're on eBay or something and you're scrolling down and there's an advert and it's like, buy this car, it's rare, you'll never see another, and then there's another one just below it.
There is actually a Toyota Crown, the same as mine, but a different colour, and it says the only one in the UK. And I'm thinking, well, I know of at least about 20 others, including the one that I own. So
there's reputedly like 8 Cavalier Mark II estates left, and there's currently 3 for sale.
Exactly. Never trust the internet, it's full of lies. I think that's it. Did we enjoy this?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Did you enjoy this watching it?
Oh no, I think I started learning things. So
good Lord.
It's that point. I'm
Stop
like,
that.
We've gone too far.
We got to back up. We must be full of ignorance. If there's anything you want us to talk about, put it in the comments below. If the comments section below is empty, it's because no one's interested. So there we go. But yeah, ask us questions and we can answer them. And we're going to vaguely try and do this on a weekly basis while Bake Off is on. So we'll see how that goes.
And don't forget, in the comments, you have to guess Simon's car based on the list that came earlier.
Yeah, guess Simon's car based on the list. Try and work out which of one of us car self-shaving, and
oh no, we've got another contender now, an actual contender.
Oh yeah, you could have got an actual contender. Well, now you're giving it away, Simon. Dreadful. And yeah, we will be back next time. So wave goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye.